Hi there, I am Laina Orlando, and I am super excited that today I was guided by that divine creator source that I align with, that activates my inspirations, that gives me the most delicious assignments that I could possibly ever have imagined, like sharing with you the message for today to remind you that we are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. And today I was inspired to read from A Course in Miracles, and I'll always be reading from something channeled by Jesus, specifically from A Course in Miracles, or a couple of books that are books that were written to follow up on A Course in Miracles, such as A Course of Love or The Way of Mastery. But today I am reading from the text in the Course, and I'm reading from chapter 11. The title of that chapter is God or the Ego, and I'm reading from section 3, just a couple of lines from this one paragraph number 4. So the way to God, the way to truth, the way to remembering your light is not hard, but it is very different. Walk in light, for the Son of God was created of light and in light. The great light always surrounds you and shines out from you. So how is it that we forgot this? How is it that we think it's so difficult, that the way is so hard to become enlightened, when it says the way is not hard, but it is very different? So what makes the way so hard is that for us is that we're not used to the different path that we have to travel to recognize the light of who we are. So we have been conditioned since we were itty bitty, even though we all grew up, most of us grew up, especially in Western world, we grew up singing the song, "This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine." We grew up hearing that we were, the light, the apple of our grandparents' eye, that we were just these amazing beings, loving and cherished and adored. Most of us grew up that way. Many didn't, but the majority of us grew up hearing how amazing we were. So how do we go from being the apple of somebody's eye to being fearful people, being aggressive people, judgmental people, angry people, shy people, scared people, depressed people? How does that happen? How does a light get dark like that? Well, we have to understand the truth of who we are. That's why this is very different, because our ego mind, the thought system that we operate from, gets filled with information that is not true. It records what others tell us and forms a thought system. That's what the ego is, a thought system that blocks the light. And when we believe the thought system is true, we literally create for ourselves a very, very difficult way, a very difficult identity to get out of, because we have to literally start saying, "No, I am not what I'm thinking about myself." But because we're trained into believing that everything that we think is the truth of who we are, it's very different to not believe your thoughts. So it's not hard. Just don't believe what you're thinking that goes against the truth of who you are. That's a very different thing. So let's think about this beautiful planet that we have incarnated on. Every one of us comes to this beautiful planet that is just a little ball, relatively speaking, in the whole universe, just this little ball spinning around in space. And then there's this big sun, always there, always present. Well, we have been taught to believe that there is the light from the sun in the day, and then there is the darkness, and the darkness is real. The Course in Miracles is attempting to make us open up our eyes and see things differently. That's why the path is very different. The sun is always there. There is no such thing as darkness. When you think that darkness is real, you literally give permission to your mind to believe dark things. You make them real for yourself. But what is very different is that we have to understand that the light is always there. Today is a very cloudy day, but I do not doubt for 1 second that the light is as bright right now as it was a couple of days ago when I recorded the video where it was super shining on the first of these episodes that I did. So bright was the light that day. Well, guess what? That light is just as bright today Today, there is an obstacle to the light called clouds. When our mind is not clear, we have a cloudy thought system that is an obstacle to the thoughts in our mind. So what is so hard about all of this is that we have become very comfortable with our dark thoughts being almost like a source of comfort, like they make us feel good that we have these gloomy thoughts about ourselves. Have you ever been around a depressed person? I've been a depressed person. I've had depressed children. I had a depressed mom. I was married to a depressed husband. We really, when we're in depression, think, oh my God, this is so real. Well, Course in Miracles, the path is very different. And it says, tell yourself, no, I'm not going to believe my own thoughts. I'm not going to believe that darkness is real. I am going to believe the truth that has been true always, that the light is always there. My work is to accept it and turn it on, turn it up, turn the volume up of that light, turn that dimmer up in myself. I want to read to you something written by somebody that most of us are very familiar with, especially if we're students of A Course in Miracles. Marianne Williamson wrote the following: our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? That's why the path is very different. We've got to claim our light, not from an egotistical place, but because it's the truth of who we are. The sun is always there. Don't buy into the illusion that it is dark in the night. The nighttime is just the absence of the light. Remind yourself the light is always there, but we are blocking the light, and it's just what we're choosing to do, to give rest to our eyes, to give rest to the planet, to cool it down. It's part of the process to block the light for something that is beneficial here on the planet, but it is not good for us to block our inner light and pretend that things are dark, we're depressed, and the world is going to hell in a handbasket, and that's the way it is. It's not, because the light is always there. So ask yourself, who am I not to be this brilliance? And let's accept that. So actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. So am I. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. Oh, I love that line. We are born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. That's why with this little light of ours, we have to let it shine. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our light shine, our own light, as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously, because we don't have to think about it, give other people permission to do the same. As we become liberated from our own fears, from our own blocks to the truth, then as we liberate ourselves from our own fears, our presence automatically liberates others. You've never seen a happy person making anybody blaming and hurting somebody. Happy people are not terrorists. People who are connected to their light are uplifters. They are not out there judging and blaming and shaming and creating chaos with others. So let me read this again from the Course in Miracles. The way is not hard. Stop believing your darkened thoughts. Stop believing the thoughts that block your light. But it's very different. You've got to stop believing your own thoughts. Don't believe them. Just because you have them does not mean that they're true. They're just thoughts that you have memorized. And if they make you feel bad, they're not your true thoughts. They're not the thoughts that God gave you. Because you were made to make manifest the glory of God. And once you begin to go down this path of becoming enlightened, you begin to realize that there is nothing scary about God. All that stuff about God that is scary, that was taught to us. Those are the blocks to the truth that God created us in its image. And it is, as the Course tells us, a happy God. And it's a happy God because it loves all that it created. So it is totally happy with all that it created because it said, damn, all of this is good. So you are good, I am good, we're all good. And if we're not having a good time on this planet is because we have blocked the truth of who we are. We're projecting judgments on others. We're growing up believing there's something wrong with us, that we're not good enough, not this enough. And inside of that delusion, we have blocked our own joy, we have blocked our own creativity, and we have created a world of suffering. Now, just because a world has all this suffering in it doesn't mean that that is our true nature. It just means that we're projecting out something that is not true. So we're blocking what is true. How do you stop blocking what is true? Don't believe it. Begin to cultivate a relationship with your true self, and remember that you were made to manifest the glory of God. That big light of yours, we've got to learn how to let it shine. Yes, we are the light of the world. Allow yourself to have that experience. Allow yourself to live in the joy and the high frequency that is your reality. So that's the message for today. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much. And I know you are magnificent. I know you're holy. I know you're good. And I know that about you because I have come to accept that about me. Love you all. Bye-bye.